Hi y'all, I'm Jamie. I just wanted to go over my 5 delivery tips from this lesson. I chose move meaningfully, keeping eye contact, express emotions, look good in appearance, and responding to questions. The first topic is moving meaningfully. That to me just means being aware of your gestures that you make while you're talking and having a conversation with someone. And typically when I get super passionate or overly excited about something, my gestures and my body movement tends to be loud and abrupt and kind of sharp and distracting. And I just want to keep in mind for future presentations and implement, moving meaningfully, just implementing slight gestures, being less abrupt, so it's not distracting and it doesn't take away from the message that I want my listeners to receive. And I feel like that would be adequate as far as, getting my gestures in there and not being over the top. Just kind of keeping it simple, which kind of moved me to keeping eye contact. It's a simple concept, but I feel like it's super important to do, especially when you're having a conversation or presenting an idea to a group of people. Just like it states in Business and Professional Communications 3E 12.2.1. Look at them and they will like you more and be more likely to remember what you tell them. I'm definitely going to keep this quote in mind for future interactions with others. I feel like keeping eye contact creates a sense of urgency and intimacy that people remember and tend to respect more. Expressing emotions is not hard for me. It's the third point that I chose to talk about. I'm very good at expressing my emotions. The hard part for me is more or less figuring out how vivid my facial expressions need to be. Typically, I tend to be very vivid in my facial expressions, and it doesn't necessarily, it's kind of distracting as well. So I want to definitely make sure that my listeners aren't being misconstrued and aren't distracted by my facial expressions and my movements. And I want them to receive what I'm trying to say effectively. I think it will definitely help for future presentations to kind of tone down my facial expressions back, which leads me to looking good in appearance. This is something that I tend to achieve every day. I feel like it's very important to look good, not only in a professional state, but on a day-to-day basis. You never know who you're going to run into or when. And I feel like this is something that needs to be implemented in everyday life, not necessarily just when you're presenting something. Just like the book Business and Professional Communications 3:12-4 states, your personal appearance affects how other people respond to you and your message. This is very dear and near to my heart. I can relate to this because I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and if you as a cosmetologist don't look good in your appearance and take pride in your appearance, what makes your client think that you take pride in your work and their finished product and their appearance. So I feel like looking good in appearance is very important, and I tend to implement it in future presentations, and not only in future presentations, but everyday life, day-to-day life. It's very, very important. Responding to questions. You may find it odd that I put this on here, but this is actually very challenging for me. Typically, when somebody asks me a question about a subject that I'm presenting or I'm talking about, I tend to get a little defensive, and that's not necessarily the way to go. It's not that they're questioning you or your facts. It's because maybe they misheard you, or they just want better clarification, or they want to learn more about the subject that you're talking on. And so, like in Business and Professional Communications 3E12.4, you'll gain more credibility by keeping your cool than by losing your composure. I know what it feels like to have someone sharply or abruptly question or answer a question that I had, and I know I've specifically done this in other instances, so I'm just going to keep in mind to keep my composure, and that when someone asks me a question or leaves feedback, it's not necessarily them judging me. It's them trying to improve and make something better and maybe learn something for themselves. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Bye.